It feels like we've been talking about climate change a lot lately, but with all the news stories on the hottest ever, the driest on record, the worst flooding and the biggest fires, it is clear that our climate has changed. So what does this mean for insurance? How much is this costing you? In Nova Scotia, insurers have now paused issuing new home and auto policies to people who live in and around evacuation zones while the province is under an emergency declaration. So with a closer look at how this issue affects all of us, Craig Stewart is with us. He's the Vice President of Federal Affairs with the Insurance Bureau of Canada, joining us from Halifax this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
First of all, what advice can you give for those affected by these wildfires who've either had damage or have been forced to evacuate?
Almost every insurance policy across the country covers wildfire risk. So the first thing you do is definitely contact your insurer, get your claim started as quickly as possible after you're safe. And then most insurance policies also include provisions for additional living expenses. So while you're evacuated, policies extend typically from 2 to 4 weeks of living costs while you're out of your home. Make sure you ask about those and make sure that you keep your receipts and make sure that you're filing those with your insurer so you're not out of pocket.
You know, one of the things that came up after the Fort McMurray fires was the fact that, yes, there was coverage for wildfires. However, there were some exemptions people didn't know. If their subdivision had been built too close to an area that was forested, it nullified the policy. So is it potentially possible that people in New Brunswick see the same, or Nova Scotia see the same thing as well?
No, we haven't heard anything like that in Nova Scotia. We do know that some homes, unfortunately, were uninsured, but most of the homes, the over 200 homes, did have insurance coverage, and almost all of those people have already been in contact with their insurer. Insurers were at the emergency evacuation centers as people arrived off the tour buses, right as they found out that their home had been lost, and so most of them have their claims started already.
We've seen insurers in the U.S. turn customers in California away because of the increasing risk of wildfires. Between 1990 and 2009, so almost a 20-year period, Canada saw 4 summers where more than 3 million hectares were burned in wildfires. Since that time, 2010, we have seen that happen 6 times. This year, we've already had 2.7 million hectares of land burned already. If this becomes a prolonged pattern here in this country, could we see people living in fire-prone areas not be able to get insurance like we see with people who are living in floodplains?
We're not even close to that yet. Fire is still considered an accident in this country. We cannot predict where homes are going to burn. Certainly in Tantallon, just outside of Halifax, that was a complete surprise, not only for residents, but insurers as well. And so at this point, we don't see wildfire insurance being limited in any way across the country. There's over 200 property and casualty insurers operating, very competitive market. We haven't heard of any insurers looking to withdraw from any part of the country at this point.
Does the policy change if it's determined the fire was a man-made fire?
No, in fact, most fires are unfortunately man-made fires. The Fort McMurray fire in 2016, we believe, was caused by ATVs. We expect that this fire in Tantallon was human-caused. Most of them, unfortunately, are. It doesn't affect policy coverage.
Good to know. Hey, Craig, thanks for this. I know we're going to be having more conversations as people continue to move back home, assess the damage, and look this process of rebuilding. Great to have you today.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.